Time for prayer.
O worthy God, the preserver and protector of all, you are without beginning and without end, non-dual, beyond comparison, and none can measure you. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited and unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible, and none can see you but with eyes divine. You always were, you always are, and you always will be. You are everywhere, you are in everything, and you are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are manifest and unmanifest, on all planes and beyond all planes. You are in the three worlds and also beyond the three worlds. You are imperceptible and independent. You are the Creator, the Lord of Lords, the knower of all minds and hearts. You are omnipotent and omnipresent. You are knowledge infinite, power infinite, and bliss infinite. You are the ocean of knowledge, all-knowing, infinitely knowing, the knower of the past, the present, and the future, and you are knowledge itself. You are all-merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, the one with infinite attributes. You are the Trinity of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, the ocean of love. You are the Ancient One, the highest of the high. You are Prabhu and Parameshwar. You are the Beyond God and the Beyond God also. You are Parabrahma, Allah, Ilahi, Yastan, Ahura Mazda, and God the Beloved. You are named Isa, the only one worthy of worship. We repent, O God, most merciful, for all our sins, for every thought that was false or unjust or unclean, for every word spoken that ought not to have been spoken, for every deed done that ought not to have been done. We repent for every deed and word and thought inspired by selfishness, and for every deed and word and thought inspired by hatred. We repent most specially for every lustful thought and every lustful action, for every lie, for all hypocrisy, for every promise given but not fulfilled, and for all slander and backbiting. Most especially also we repent for every action that has brought ruin to others, for every word and deed that has given others pain, and for every wish that pain should befall others. In your unbounded mercy, we ask you to forgive us, O God, for all these sins committed by us, and to forgive us for our constant failures to think and speak and act according to your will. Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and more and more, and still yet more, till we become worthy of union with you, and help us all to hold fast to Baba's daman till the very end. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Now
Till you Jai Baba, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful East-West Satsang on every Saturday. So please raise your hand, all those who would like to share a song, poetry, or anything heartfelt for Baba. I'm putting in the instructions again to raise hand. Till we see some hands, I will read out the 3 verses of You Alone Exist after last time. You are eternally motionless and immovable is your abode. You are the highest, for you alone exist. You are the doer, the deed and the cause of doing. The sustainer you are, and the master of masters, you alone exist. You are the seeker, the worship and the sadhana. O Meher God incarnate, you alone exist. You are in front and behind, you are above and below. O Lord, you live in every house and you alone exist. You are beyond, yet you remain within everyone. You are all-pervading and you alone exist. You are in each neighborhood, you are the sustainer. You yourself are all worlds and you alone exist. Everywhere, whether above or below, you are complete, you alone exist. You are unseen, yet seen also. You live in everyone, forgiving each his sins. You alone exist. There is no one without you. You are manifesting and unmanifest as you alone exist. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. We have Martha. Martha, please begin.
Yes, I did. Good morning, Jai Baba. I'm reading from The Awakener of Bao Kachori, and this is I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he's talking about making people aware of reality. He says, "So what do? I toss people into the ocean and ask them to swim. They don't know how to swim. They feel as if they are drowning and tightly catch hold of me. When they do this, it becomes impossibly difficult for me to help. I give them a tight slap so that their grip on me loosens. Then it becomes easy for me to save them. When I give them a tight slap, they suffer, but this suffering helps them so they can swim with me and reach the shore of the shoreless ocean. This is the reason suffering in the world goes on increasing, because I am giving my slap to people internally, and they know not why. But I have to take them to the shore of the shoreless ocean, so that they may be free from the darkness of ignorance. I have to show them the real path to truth. For that purpose, I very happily create the awareness of truth in them, so that they may not remain completely attached to darkness. They must have the ray of light, awareness, so that they may tread the path of truth and not wander in darkness. Though all people do not recognize me at present, I am working hard to gradually give a slap to everyone. This slap is invaluable. I have to do it to force them to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Only then can I show them the path of truth, so that they may tread upon it. The time when they will recognize me is coming. I do not do this to teach, but to awaken. I am the awakener, and I have to do my duty. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Martha, thank you so much for this. We now have Angela. Angela, over to your lovely singing.
Okay, thank you. Jai Baba. Good morning, good evening. I thought this would be good for the EastWest Satsang. Prabhuji, Daya Karo. Prabhuji, Daya Karo. Maname, Anabaso. Maname, Anabaso. Tumamina lage suna. Tumamina lage suna. Kaligatame prema baro. Kaligatame prema baro. Prabhuji, Daya Karo. Prabhuji, Daya Karo. Maname, Anabaso. Maname, Anabaso. Tantra mantra puja nahi janu. Tantra mantra puja nahi janu. Mai to kevala tumako hi manu. Mai to kevala tumako hi manu. Sare jaga mein dunda tumako. Sare jaga mein dunda tumako. Abado akara bahendaro. Abado akara bahendaro. Prabhuji, 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 Daya Karo. Prabhuji, Daya Karo. Maname, Anabaso. Maname, Anabaso. Prabhuji, Prabhuji, Prabhuji. Jai Baba.
That was really wonderful. Thank you, Angela. We now have Meher who would like to share something. Meher, please come in.
Yes. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Hi, good morning, good evening to all who are here, East and West and Middle East. If it's okay, I will read something short and then also sing. Is it okay? Okay. I just remembered that Eruch, when he used to speak in Mandalay Hall, his stories used to touch and be meaningful to so many people from different angles. Like everyone used to feel that Erich is talking directly to them. So I'm reading from Avatar of the Age, Mera Baba Manifesting by Bao Kalchuri that I just got as a gift for my birthday not long ago from my son and family. The chapter is called Imposters, and it's talking of imposters in the spiritual life. But actually, we're living in time that everyone is abusing power, their power that they received by good deeds, and they're using them wrongly. So I will read just bits here and there. In the West, these imposters are like wolves who prey upon the lambs of the Father. In the East, they are like serpents, poisoning the hearts of the sincere, ordinary Ordinary people are far better than hypocritical false men of God. Throughout the world, such imposters are collecting large numbers of followers, deceiving the simple-minded religious people and spiritually naive. They are simple because they are deceived, and they are naive because they believe these fakes. Sincere people should keep away from these spiritual imposters. They are the worst hypocrites. They pretend to be close to God. They have no hearts, no conscience. They talk about God only to satisfy material ends, name, fame, power, and wealth. No matter how famous, no matter how powerful, and no matter how wealthy, they are imposters. For if they were real, they would have recognized God when he was in their midst. This is the avataric age, and because of the work done by Mera Baba, the whole world is gradually becoming inclined towards the spiritual life. Simultaneously, the imposters have opened up their businesses and are performing their shows. This worldwide inclination towards spiritual life is created by the avatar. The imposters are now taking advantage of people's ignorance. They're using their powers, they're using their cities. Yet they serve a purpose in the avatar's work. They serve as trash cans. Their businesses serve as depositories of human trash and filth. In them, their enterprises, people may deposit their trash and filth. And we are very fortunate that we have Baba, because like Milarepa, the great saint who has done wrong and realized that he was doing wrong, and then he went looking for perfect master in order to repent. Baba has given us this beautiful ability to repent in his time and in his grace for using cities in a bad way. Jaina Baba. Oh, Bhagavatar Mea Baba Kiche. You wonder where I live. I live within your heart. And all the world is mine, but I'm yours, yours. You burn your candlelight, but I'm the source of light. And all the stars are mine, but I'm yours. The ages pass, the sages ask, they say, when will you come again? I say, when the lion lies with the lamb, and when on truth you take a stand, I'll be there. You behold the rainbows, you, but I'm the one who colored you. And all the world is yours, If you are mine, mine, you live in the universe. Enjoy my grandest work. Yet the only work I do is to draw you to me. The ages pass, the sages ask, they say, when will you come again? I say, when the lion lies with the lamb, and when on truth you take a stand, I'll be there. You wonder where I live within your heart, and all the world is mine, but I'm yours, I'm yours. Over the cow, meu baba kicheche.
Thank you so much, Mihail. That was really, really beautiful and extremely poignant for our today's times. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. We now have our loving mother-daughter duo, Marukanti and Hutakshi.
जय बाबा
जय बाबा। मेरे दिल में चले आना, जीवन पर छा जाना, मेहर तेरी बरसाना, मुझे अपना बना लेना। मेरे दिल में चले आना, जीवन भर छा जाना, मेहर तेरी बरसाना, मुझे अपना बना लेना। तुम करुणा सागर हो, प्रीतम परमेश्वर हो। तुम करुणा सागर हो, प्रीतम परमेश्वर हो। सबके रखवाले हो, जीवन उजियारे हो। सबके रखवाले हो, जीवन उजियारे हो। भूले से भटक जाऊं, माया में उलझ जाऊं। भूले से भटक जाऊं, माया में उलझ जाऊं। मेरी बाह थाम कर ही, मेरी बाह थाम कर ही, सही राह दिखा देना। मेरे दिल में चले आना, जीवन भर छा जाना, मेहर तेरी बरसाना, मुझे अपना बना लेना। संसार में रह कर भी तुम्हें कब न भुला पाऊं। संसार में रह कर भी तुम्हें कब न भुला पाऊं। दामन को धर जाऊं, दुख से नहीं घबराऊं। दामन को धर जाऊं, दुख से नहीं घबराऊं। हो जाए स्थिति जो भी, मेहर तेरी रथ होगी। हो जाए स्थिति जो भी, हर तेरी रत होगी। मधुसूदन चाहे यही, मधुसूदन चाहे यही, सही राह दिखा देना, मेरे दिल में चले आना, जीवन पर छा जाना, मेहर तेरी बरसाना, मुझे अपना बना लेना, मुझे अपना बना लेना, मुझे अपना बना लेना। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय।
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really beautiful as always. We have our dear Tushar Bhai who has come in after a long time. So, Tushar Bhai, over to you.
Hey Baba, sorry even I was busy and missing you all, but now hopefully we'll continue again. Yeah. So dedicating this song to Baba. Your home is in my heart, in my heart. My heart is like an ocean, like an ocean. I'll rock you while you're sleeping, while you're sleeping. On a wave of sweet emotion, sweet emotion. Your home is in my heart, in my heart. My heart is like an ocean, like an ocean. I'll rock you while you're sleeping, while you're sleeping. On a wave of sweet emotion, sweet emotion. Your home is in my heart, in my heart. My heart is very strong, very strong. Whenever you may wander, you may wander. I carry you along, I carry you along. Your home is in my heart, in my heart. My heart is very strong, very strong. Whenever you may wander, you may wander. I carry you along, I carry you along. Your home is in my heart, in my heart. My heart is everywhere, everywhere. Whenever you feel lonely, you feel lonely. Just know that I am there. Baba is there. Just know that I am there. Baba is there. Your home is in my heart, in my heart. My heart is everywhere, everywhere. Whenever you feel lonely, you feel lonely. Just know that I am there. He is there. Just know that I am there. Baba is there. Krishna Vande Paramanandam Vandeham. Krishna Vande Paramanandam Vandeham. Krishna Vande Paramanandam Vandeham. Krishna Vande Paramanandam Vande Paramanandam Vande Paramanandam Vande Paramanandam Vande. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय.
Super, super, super. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Tushar Bhai. That was really wonderful. Thank you. We
That's
have Gail who would like to share something. Thank you, Gail.
Jay Baba, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a poem from Brian Darnell, A Jewel in the Dust. The title is Serious Repercussions. A kiss on the brow, and you were unable to speak for months. Climbing back into your body, you found your tongue and began to sing. Farther down the road, another silence, 44 years, a song caged in your throat. I believe you have begun to sing again, with serious repercussions throughout all of existence. Picturing you, Lord, in a young body in Sadra at daybreak, loosened curls, head thrown back, praising with your throat that which is beyond words and solely worthy of your worship. O child of God, your beloved has begun to sing. Let the world become an ear, quiescent and receptive. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Today we have some such poignant sharing of Baba's words that is happening, and maybe Baba wants to send us these reminders of all that is happening around us. Thank you so much for these important shares. Mihail and Gail, thank you. We have Jack. Welcome, Jack. Jai Baba.
Yeah, hi everybody.
Talk loud, Jack.
How interesting that last talk was, because this is, to me, Baba's words on ghazal number 67, which was written about 10 years ago. Awaken, awaken, oh my lovers, when you share my love, you will never be lonesome. Whether it be through me within, or when I express myself in the faces of a threesome. When you share my love, you will experience freedom, whether it be from sanskaric shackles or your heart leaping from mortal strife to taste the divine wine from my eternal kingdom. What have you not to give? For is all this not mine to whimsically dispense? Thinking it is yours only adds to life's expense, and the karma you sow then becomes inordinately immense. So wake up, stop being so obstinately dense. Oh, if I could only impress on you what waits in store for those who love me more and more and remember me still yet more. For all this pleases me to my deepest core, for I am the goal your soul so desperately yearns for. Thank you. That was it. That's all she wrote.
Jai Baba. Thank you. That was lovely. Thank you so much, Jack. And we have Al, who would like to share. Thank you, Al. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, good. Beautiful day today. It's a little cooler. Anyway, I have a song that I retitled Baba, I'll Come to You. I think it'll be familiar to some of you. Yes, Baba, some bright morning when this life is over, I'll come to you, to that home on your celestial shore. I'll come to you. Yes, I'll come to you, oh Baba, I'll come to you when I die. Hallelujah, by and by, I'll come to you. When the shadows of this life have gone, I'll come to you like a bird from its gilded cage. I'll come to you. Yes, I'll come to you, oh Baba, I'll come to you. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll come to you. Oh, how glad and happy I will be when we no more burdens in this life to me. I'll come to you. Yes, I'll come to you, my Baba. I'll come to you. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll come to you. Just a few more weary days and then I'll come to you. To that land where joys will never end, I'll come to you. Yes, I'll come to you, my Baba. I'll come to you. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll come to you. Yes, Baba, I'll come to you to stay. Yes, I'll come to you. Jai Baba, thank you for listening.
That was really, really wonderful, Al. Thank you so much. Now we have Marilyn. We were wondering where you were. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you, Rashani. I'm here. Thank you, everybody. Al, that was quite lovely and moving. I wanted to just share the Adi Sachatana, the translation. I love to read it. The Hindi Arti. He from whose whim sprang up the universe. How can intellect fathom his divinity? Primordial life-giving consciousness, heaven of peace. Salutations, O Brahma, come. O Lord Mayhair, accept my arti. Light the lamp of love in my heart and annihilate this intense darkness. Let me offer everything to you and be blissful in your love. O Mayhair, accept my arti. May every breath of my life become the flow of your will. O compassionate one, O master of the divine game, shower your mercy upon me, O Lord Mayhair, accept my arti. May your arti become my very life, that the rounds of births and deaths end forever. May my eyes be open to the light of dawn, and may you pervade in me. O Lord Mayhair, accept my arti. Avatar Mayor Baba Ki Jai. Thank you for listening. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you so much. That was really lovely. We have Sandeep. Sandeep, are you there? Sandeep? Sandeep, can you hear?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes.
I want to sing the ghazal written by Mayor Baba himself. Once again, it's very close to my heart. It's called as Ishtiyake Shauk Jab Had. The meaning of this ghazal, the mukra is, when your passion for God becomes intense beyond limit, you will see His glory right in front of your eyes. So Mayor Baba himself has written this ghazal, and I would love to sing this for you all by his grace. Ishtiyake shauk jab had se siwa ho हो जाएगा सामने आंखों के बोझ वानुमा हो जाएगा सामने आंखों के बोझ वानुमा हो जाएगा या के शौक जब क्या कहूँ मैं दिल खुदी को कर क्या हो जाएगा क्या कहूँ मैं दिल खुदी को कर क्या हो जाएगा वास्ते हक होगा बंदे से खुदा हो जाएगा वास्ते हक होगा बंदे से खुदा हो जाएगा या के शौक जब कानों में आकर वो कह गए मुझे पर्दे की बात कानों में आकर के वो कह गए मुझे पर्दे की बात मैं तेरा हो जाऊंगा जब तू मेरा हो जाएगा मैं तेरा हो जाऊंगा जब तू मेरा हो जाएगा या के शौक जब तक से सिवा हो जाएगा सामने आंखों के बोझल वानुमा हो जाएगा या के शौक जब अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय
Beautiful, Sandeep. Thank you so much. Jai Baba. Thank you. That was really wonderful. We have Cassandra to share next. Jai Baba.
Well, I'm a little late, so I hope nobody's read this already. This is what I want to read from. This is Glow, Summer 2012, My New Life Days from Meru, Irani. Of course, it's October, and we're all thinking about the new life. When we started walking in the early morning with a very sprightly step, we thought we could walk for miles and miles without tiring, with Baba besides us. But gradually, as it began getting warmer, our legs began dragging a bit. By the time we reached Sirur, all of us were tired, especially Dr. Ghani, who had never walked so many miles before in his life. I can never think of the new life without thinking of Dr. Ghani, who was one of my favorite characters in the Baba literature. When he was using the stick in the normal way, he was actually using the stick to push himself forward. And Baba pointed it out to us to say how tired he was. We stopped at the Dak bungalow where we were supposed to stop, but it was occupied by the military. So the place where we were going to stop at, there was no room for us. But the person who came and gave us the news said he had a theater, which he could offer if Baba would stop over there. As there was nowhere else to go, Baba agreed, and so we walked through the streets of Sirur. We had lived such a secluded life, and here were people gazing at us everywhere as if they could not understand who we were. We felt very awkward about it, but were only too happy to reach the theater. It seemed very strange to them, for they had never seen people like us walking on the streets. They could not understand why we were so many. We could not mention Baba's name, for he had asked us not to mention his name. He was only to be called our big brother. When we reached the cinema house, which was through narrow lanes, we were only too happy to rest over there, for by that time all our muscles were aching. One could hear the groans from each of us. After refreshing ourselves with a wash and a cold drink of water, we had a meal served. Baba told us we should retire early as we were very tired and we were to start the journey early next morning at about 4 o'clock to Belgaum. Early in the evening, Baba retired, but it was Diwali, the festival of lights, and the loud sounds of fireworks could be heard right in the theater. Baba would clap and call us to say that the firecrackers were disturbing him. In the new life, Baba had said that no one should get angry at anything, and he felt that this was disturbing him and it could not go on. So Baba said that if the bus was there, we should start on our way to Belgaum. So without rest, at about midnight, in complete darkness, we began to pack our things so that we would slip out quietly. But what we weren't prepared for was the crowds at Sarur lined up round the bus to see Baba go. This is in the middle of the night, too. All of Sarur seemed to be waiting there because word had got around that Baba would be leaving. Instead of slipping out quietly, on both sides there was a line of people, and we had just a narrow lane to pass through. Everyone was bowing and greeting Baba, and we also joined hands and bowed down to each one. At last we went down to the bus with our luggage. We got onto the bus feeling half asleep and tired. We started on our journey to Belgaum. We stopped at Pune for tea. On the bus, the seats were very narrow and not enough room for us to stretch out or to recline. Goher was sitting right behind the driver. Seeing the round shape of the driver's hat, she thought it looked like a tempting cushion for her. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Cassandra, thank you so much. I just mentioned that you're almost preparing us for the next week New Life special that we are planning to have on our East-West gathering. So
Yes.
we have Shelley who would like to share something. Jai Baba, Shelley.
Good morning, good evening to all. I just want to say how moved I am by all the shares that have been brought forth for Baba this morning. So beautiful and so moving. Gail, I'm bringing Brian Darnell back. I'm going to read a poem by Brian. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. It shone through, Mani said. It shone through your divinity, particularly as the coat frayed, split-seamed, and threadbare. Your lovers clamored those latter days for the nectar of your presence. It shone through, and nowadays, in a random soul, coat perforated by the casual sorrows of human existence, the loneliness and the long night vigils, whose faith and the thread of your light have kept stitched together. It shines through, with God's light behind every star in space, a threadbare cloak. So through the cleft of flesh, the light pours into the dusky realm. Cleft, O lovers, for thee and me. O child of God, there was a glow, said Mani. There was a definite glow. Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Meher Baba. Lovely. Thank you so much, Shelley. So since Cassandra mentioned Dr. Ghani, he's one of my favorite, personalities too in Baba's. And some of the most humorous stories are revolving around him. There is a little anecdote, just a little bit I will read out. Once in the afternoon of 1922, Baba called Ghani to massage his legs. And as he was doing, Baba uttered, "May God help you." So Ghani burst out laughing, and when Baba asked him the reason, he replied, "We generally find it difficult to follow the drift of your utterances. Your words seem to have a deeper meaning than that denoted on the surface. Only yesterday, you remarked that I looked healthy and particularly said that my neck had grown quite fat and strong. Now look, today my neck is very stiff and is causing me a lot of pain." Hearing this, Baba laughed. Ghani enjoyed esoteric wisdom and later asked, "Didn't you tell me that the worldly knowledge, education, and cleverness of a person before realizing God remains the same after realization?" Baba clarified the point. "What I told you is quite correct. There are two kinds of knowledge: the worldly knowledge, or the knowledge relating to the material world, and the divine knowledge which is acquired after becoming one with God. A person having become one with God when dealing with matters relating to this material world, his actions and words thereafter reflect the divinity in him. Hence, the utterances and actions of such a person are invested with a sort of secrecy and grandeur about them. But this is usually lost sight by worldly people. For example, a ruby in the hands of a rustic will not be really appreciated by him, but the same piece of stone will be treasured in the hands of a jeweler who knows its worth. The person who has become one with God is able to make the best use of his worldly knowledge on the strength of his divine knowledge, which, however, is not drawn upon in the least. Hence, the difference between the utterances and actions of the ordinary human being and the perfected divine personalities is vast. Baba asked Ghani to bring a little coconut oil, and he began rubbing Ghani's neck, promising, "Hereafter you will never suffer a stiff neck." Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. We have Betty for sharing. Jai Baba, Betty.
Jai Baba. Excuse my morning voice here. This is a little song by Francis Bravazon. Baba is making it new. Baba is making it new. Baba is making it new for you. Baba is in your hands to do. Baba is making it new. Baba is making it new for you. Baba is in your hands to do. You have the whole day in front of you. Make it new and make it true. Do not bother about the past. It went because it could not last and has no place in the new. Oh, Baba is making it new. Baba is making it new for you. Baba is in your hands to do. Jai Baba.
Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, God man. Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, God man, God man, God Meher Baba, God man, God man, God man. Jai Baba.
That was really fantastic. Thank you so much. So soulful, Angela. Rati and Bhikkhu, you are the finale for today.
Can you hear me?
Perfect.
जय बाबा बाबा तेरी कृपा से सांसें मेरी चलती है बाबा तेरी कृपा से सांसें मेरी चलती है सांसें मेरी चलती है तू है तो मेरा जीवन चिड़ियों सा चहकता है फूलों सा हंसता है कलियों सा महकता है बस मौज बरसती है बस मौज बरसती है बाबा तेरी कृपा से सांसें मेरी चलती है सांसें मेरी चलती है विश्वास है जीवन भर तू मुझको संभालेगा डूबूंगा भंवर में तो तू आके बचा लेगा तेरे हाथ में कश्ती है तेरे हाथ में कश्ती है बाबा तेरी कृपा से सांसें मेरी चलती है सांसें मेरी चलती है ऐसे ही रहे हरदम ये ध्यान तेरा मुझ पर मैं मान रहा हूँ है एहसान तेरा मुझ पर तुझसे मेरी हस्ती है तुझसे मेरी हस्ती है बाबा तेरी कृपा से सांसें मेरी चलती है सांसें मेरी चलती है चाहत ने तेरी मुझको दीवाना बनाया है दुनिया कहे कुछ भी पर दिल तुझ पर आया है तेरे नाम की मस्ती है तेरे नाम की मस्ती है बाबा तेरी कृपा से सांसें मेरी चलती है सांसें मेरी चलती है अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय
Rati, Jai Baba, thank you so much. Bhikkhu, quickly you can have your song and then we will invite Jyoti Gandhi, who is our speaker for today.
Jai Baba. नमो मेहर बाबा अवतार नमो देव देवा नमो मेहर बाबा अवतार नमो देव देवा अपार दिव्या कृपा सागरा अपार दिव्या कृपा सागरा सकल चराचर जगदोधार सकल चराचर जगदोधार नमो मेहर बाबा अवतार नमो देव देवा दुख भंजन सुख कारक देवा दुख भंजन सुख कारक देवा करुणा कर तू अपरंपार करुणा कर तू अपरंपार दीन बंधु तू पतित पावन दीन बंधु तू पतित पावन परमानंदन दीन आधार परमानंदन दीन आधार नमो मेहर बाबा अवतार नमो देव देवा राम कृष्ण जरतुस मोहम्मद राम कृष्ण जरतुस मोहम्मद युग युग तेरे रूप अपार युग युग तेरे रूप अपार मधुसूदन के हिय से निकले मधुसूदन के हिय से निकले पल पल तेरी जय जयकार पल पल तेरी जय जयकार नमो मेहर बाबा अवतार नमो देव देवा नमो मेहर बाबा अवतार नमो देव देवा प्रभु नमो देव देवा अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय
Jai Meher Baba. Okay. We shall now move into our speaker for the day, Jyoti Gandhi. So, our dear Baba lover Jyoti Gandhi, who is the speaker for today at our EastWest Saturday Satsang, is from Mumbai. And she came to beloved Baba formally around the year 2005. The word formally I have used over here because there is a unique story of how Baba does his work even when we do not know anything about it. Today she will share that story and also her experiences through the blessed pilgrimage travels that she has had to places where Baba has visited. So thank you so much for joining us, Jyoti ji.
All right. So, good evening, everyone. I am excited to be here to share my Baba experiences. My name is Jyoti Gandhi, and I have been a teacher for 40 plus years, presently teaching brain health awareness. How long I have been with Baba, even I don't know. My journey started many years before I actually heard Baba's name. You will understand this after listening to the end of my story. Let's have the beautiful love card, the first picture. This card is about 40 years old. And I'm going to tell you the story behind this beautiful card. It was given to me in 1980, before my engagement, 40 years back, by my present husband. We were courting those days and did not know the existence of Meher Baba. In the 80s, there were no cell phones or social media platforms. The only way that we could express our feelings were through letters and cards. Every time we met, my husband would present me with 2 to 3 beautifully worded cards. And by the time we got married, I had a carton full of them. I had decided to keep them as long as I could. But about 10 years back, when my house was getting renovated, we had to remove a lot of extra things gathered so that the workers could work around the house. And out came this carton of cards. I realized I couldn't keep so many. And so out of the whole carton of cards, I just pulled out one. I just randomly pulled out one card, and without much looking at it, I just kept it in a pouch in the cupboard, that someday in the future I shall look at it. And about 5 years back, when we had a Baba meeting at my place, and I was getting everything cleaned and ready and cleared to accommodate about 30 people, I opened the cupboard and and out came this pouch. So, Roshni, could we have the next slide? This is the Baba meeting that we had. So I opened my cupboard to decide what to wear, and suddenly the pouch came in my hand. I saw this card and I decided to read what was written on it for old time's sake. And once I read these beautiful words written by Baba, and the end of it was that it was truly adapted from Meher Baba on love. Now this was a huge big shock for me. The back of the card also mentioned that they were Meher visuals, as you all saw. Now imagine this was 40 years back. I was shell-shocked and realized it was Baba who really made us meet, Baba who got us married way back in 80. Eventually, he steered both of us into his love. Today, we have an entire family who are Baba lovers, including my 5-year-old grandson, who has already been to Mehrabad 5 to 6 times. My daughter used to sing Baba Arti all through her pregnancy. So when my grandson was very little, it was only the Baba dhun or the Baba Arti that would keep him quiet. Such is Baba's love and timing. I actually came to Baba after reading Sounds of Silence by Nan Umriga about 15 years back. And the card which I received was 40 years back. So you can imagine the journey that we took from 40 to 15 years. That is Baba timing for all of us. So even I think the lesson I learned from this was that even if we don't know about Baba, many people don't know about Baba, we just need to put some seeds into ears of people around. Once we plant the seeds, when they will flower, when they will bloom, only Baba knows. That is the story of how I came to Baba. Now I would love to share what today's topic is, my travel stories. Following his footsteps is a traveling group of young Baba lovers who like to go everywhere where Baba had traveled. And it's really overwhelming to see these youngsters who adore their beloved Baba. Some trips were made with them and some trips were made with my family to places where Baba had visited, in India and abroad. I could spend a lot of time explaining how each trip was meticulously planned and executed by Baba so that I could visit all the places he had visited. Meher Baba had declared, quote, "Whenever I visit a place or stay there, for however short time, the spiritual atmosphere there greatly elevates," unquote. Some of the places that I have visited where Meher Baba had been in India are, so this is in an alphabetical order, Ahmednagar, Aurangabad, Bangalore, Baroda, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kashmir, Lonavala, Mehrabad, of course, Mahabaleshwar, Mount Abu, Mussoorie, Mysore, Mumbai, where I presently stay, Panchkini and Pune. So I'm fortunate enough to visit so many places where Baba had been, always trying to get the significance and the element and, go to similar places, visit them, ask about, if there is any sign, some hotel, some place. In the foreign countries that I have visited, it is USA, Sri Lanka, known as Ceylon in those days, Italy, Singapore, and UK. I will be sharing a few significant stories and starting with my Kashmir trip. This was an action-packed week. Every day had new activities and were filled with new places to visit. We stayed in a hotel at the foots of Harwan Hills, the place Baba had visited. This held very special importance for all of us. And this was the reason that we were actually there in Kashmir. In response to a question about Jesus from Earl Turner, Bhau Kalchuri mentions in a letter in 1922, stating, Meher Baba disclosed that Jesus had come to India and visited different places of pilgrimage with 2 disciples and ultimately went to Kashmir and dropped his physical body in the hills near Srinagar, in the hills of Harwan Hills. Baba would reveal this truth bit by bit so that one may not get a shock and one's belief may not be disturbed. We all sat together at the top of Harwan Hill and did Baba prayer and Arti and enjoyed its beauty and wilderness. I remember the circumstances under which I had gone to Kashmir, and I was pretty ill. And one of our very, very known and lovely Baba lovers, Siddharth Varma, insisted I go up. I was tired and ill, had fever, and wanted to remain at the bottom of the mountain. But he said, this chance won't come again. He held my hand and maneuvered me to the top of the mountain. And we were taking a break every few minutes before I could actually reach Harwan Hills. So we can have the slide of Harwan Hills. Now, this is the story about Harwan Hills, where we all sat, we meditated, said Baba prayers. It was an ethereal experience and definitely felt the presence of Baba there. The second place in Kashmir is that we stayed on the houseboats in Dal Lake. We can have the next slide of Dal Lake, where Baba had also visited the Dal Lake. So we too stayed in these houseboats. They were so beautiful and exotic. And there we lit a beautiful dhuni in one of the houseboats. Of course, a lot of preparation went into that because all boats were made out of wood and the fear of catching fire was always there. It was another most beautiful experience one could have had. Under the stars in a houseboat over the Dal Lake, where the presence of Baba was felt and all of us were quiet, emotional and tearful. Then of course in Kashmir we visited a lot of gardens, masjids where Baba had been. And another very strong incident was where an accident was averted, because we were supposed to travel for 2 hours to get onto some cable cars between 2 mountains for sightseeing. But things kept getting delayed that day from morning. The breakfast came late, people weren't getting ready and we could not be in 2 buses. So right from the start, the whole trip got delayed by almost 2 hours. Little did we know that by the time we reached the spot, the cables had broken and people were stuck in cable cars, were being rescued. So if we would have been there on time, we would have probably been out, either on at the top of one of the hills or in the cable car, because we were 25 of us. And so we thought that anything that Baba does, it may have been maybe having a little disappointment at that point of time, but it has a lot that, we need to understand when we join the dots or connect the dots. Another lovely experience was the Rishi Markand Ashram in Kashmir, a great saint where Meher Baba personally had visited. We even saw a small poster there with Meher Baba's picture and name, which overwhelmed all of us. The whole experience was overwhelming, and it was an unforgettable trip in Kashmir. Another lovely experience I had was my trip to Banaras, the spiritual place where every avatar has come, every avatar. They have come to the city and touched their feet in the holy waters of the Ganga, or the Ganges as it is known. Meher Baba spent some time in Banaras during his new life period and started the phase of begging from there. He went to Sarnath, so we can have the slide of Sarnath. So Sarnath is the place of the Buddha, where he led the life of nakedness and meditation, called the Langoti life. In Banaras, we were fortunate enough to meet Mr. Sahai, a 90-year-old. And he had been with Baba, and all of us, they invited us to their house when they knew that we were a group of Baba lovers come all the way from Bombay. And, he was 90 and sick, but when it came to sharing stories of Baba, he had the enthusiasm of a child. He went on talking and talking for almost 3 hours, and all 25 of us were avidly listening to every word he was saying. We were like little kids, lapping up every moment of that, beautiful. We didn't want to, we didn't even want to go to the toilet. We just wanted to sit there and listen to his stories, and he had so many. Meher Baba visited all the places that he had visited. So Meher Baba visited all the places that he had visited in his previous advents as Zoroaster, Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad. He would not only visit these places, but he would also be doing a lot of universal work in seclusion in all these places. Meher Baba had visited a lot of places in Europe. And some of the most interesting ones were those in Italy. Our family decided to take a holiday in Italy, and it was the moment I have always been waiting for. But I was not sure how I could fit in my schedule of Meher Baba with the children's schedule of visiting different places in Italy. So there was Rome and Vatican and Venice and all of that. And I was struggling into all of this as how am I going to get my moment off? How am I going to visit all these places? And I just let it be in the universe. I said, Baba, you're calling me there. Let me have every moment where you are there. And if I'm not mistaken, I had Meher Baba's name throughout the trip. It was like I must have said his name lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of times, millions of times, since we have people from across the world. So the most important thing that I wanted to visit were the Assisi caves. If I was to fully explain how I reached Assisi, it would take another 45 minutes, but I'm going to tell it to you in short. I wanted to wriggle a day out for myself and visit the Assisi cave, but we had tight schedules. Somewhere I managed to convince the kids that my husband and me were tired and we wanted a break. So while the kids went to Lake Como, we didn't go there. We decided to be back in Rome. That's from there. That's where we went to Assisi. When we found out the charges to go to Assisi, the people over there said it would cost us over 300 euros per person and changing a couple of trains. Now we were in the middle of all this, Italian. We didn't know the language, and we were like, how are we going to get there? It just seemed like an impossible task. The day that, but on that day when the kids had left for Como, I wouldn't give up. I just kept struggling. I went to the travel desk and I said, could we have someone speaking English? Could we have someone speaking English? And finally, we got a guide who was English speaking. And to cut a long story short, he managed to get us a direct train to Assisi. It was coming in the right time. It only cost us 75 euros per person going and coming. Where was 300 and where is 75? So, I mean, this itself was a miracle. I was sure that, I wanted to, as much as I wanted to go there, I think Baba also wanted to have me. Now, to give a little background on St. Francis's Church in Assisi. So, in 1914, Baba received God realization from Hazrat Baba Jan, which we saw this beautiful play that you all had done the last week. I was overwhelmed. I remember my heckles rising, listening to the whole, all of you all putting in that effort and going through that beautiful, beautiful play. So in 1914, Baba received God realization from Hazrat Baba Jan, and as the truth unfolds, the most unequivocal statements received from Baba during the last 28 years were the following. 1. God is the only reality, all else is unreal. 2. Baba has nothing more to achieve for himself. And 3. He is constantly at his work, more or less, all the time. Now, the only occasion when Baba did directly disclose about the nature and object of his work in a seclusion was at the time when he had retired to a cave of Saint Francis in Assisi in Italy in 1932 for 24 hours only. He believed that Saint Francis spoke to birds. He believed, he saw the tree. It is true. Saint Francis is one saint who spoke to birds and animals. And when we went to Assisi, when we went to Saint Francis's church and place, there was this beautiful tree which was cordoned off, and no one, and we could just view it from the top. So that is the place where St. Francis spoke, and I think Baba had also visited that same tree. It is well cordoned off now and protected. So we can have the slide now, slide number 7. To quote Baba about Assisi, this is a quotation by Baba. A meeting was held, said Baba, when all the masters and saints from the 6th and the 7th plane of consciousness saw me, and we mapped out a spiritual destiny for the world for the next 2000 years. This is the first time Baba had disclosed about his spiritual work. Otherwise, Baba would always speak of his spiritual work saying, there is some work to be done, some special work to be done, some universal work to be done. But about Assisi is the only time when he actually spoke what the spiritual work was. So visiting this cave in Assisi had a great importance for me and my life. And visiting it was one of my life's dreams and bucket wishes. I had expressed it in the universe, did not know how to manifest it. But when you truly, truly want something, I think God manifests it for you. I guess Baba makes it happen. Another beautiful city was Venice. Such a lovely place, unbelievable. Baba traveled in the gondolas on the waterfront. He fed, So let's have the other slide. This is a beautiful place, Venice. No words. If you all can go, make it over there. Now, there at Venice, there was St. Mark's Square. Baba visited St. Mark's Square in 18th August 1932, where he stated, and this is his quote, he quoted, "This church is one of the 4 spiritual centers of Europe. unquote. The whole structure corresponds to the avatars, 12 disciples of the inner circle and 108 disciples of the outer circle. This is the place Baba fed pigeons, below the towers which are now cordoned off. So we can have the slide. Yes, this is the slide of St. Mark's. St. Mark's at Venice, Baba said that there were 4 main centers of Europe which were connected to great spiritual work. And the 4 places, out of the 4 places, one was St. Mark's at Venice. The second was the Ligurian coast of Italy. The third was the Assisi, St. Francis's cave. And the fourth was the Avila in Spain. So I am fortunate enough to visit at least 2 of these places, which Baba said had great spiritual work being done over there. Baba also quoted, "I have visited and revisited them all, and from their holy grounds have sprung many saints," unquote. After Italy, there was this beautiful trip to Sri Lanka, then known as Ceylon, where we visited the length and breadth of Ceylon. We also visited Colombo, the place where Baba had visited. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a hotel called the White Horse Hotel, where Baba was supposed to have stayed. We did inquire about it, but it no longer exists. Of course, I have to say that we were all booked for the Australian trip, the Women's Sahwas. And all of us were going to be leaving on the 22nd of March, but the lockdown for the COVID and coronavirus started from the 20th of March. So we, of course, couldn't go there. Our bags were packed, the insurances were done, our stays were booked, everything was done. But actually, we were wanting to go there 2 days earlier. And, we could not get our air bookings. So I'm just imagining if I would have gone to Australia 2 days earlier, we would be in the flight when the lockdown would have happened, and we would be stuck in Australia. We would be just stuck in Australia. Even the people over there would not know what to do with us, and we also wouldn't know how to handle this whole thing where the whole world was at a standstill. So Baba has his timing. We were very upset that why didn't we get our tickets for the 20th, and we should have been there, and we could have seen Sydney, because we couldn't have traveled so much, can't go again and again to Australia. But the tickets were for 22nd and 20th, we were there back in Bombay. So that's another miracle. And funnily, all the 3 of us who were traveling together, we at least got our entire refund. That is another strange thing, because the government made the rules that people who were traveling after the 20th, he made the rules, they must get their refund back. So if people had booked earlier than that, I don't know if they've got the refund. I think most of them got an open ticket to travel for 1 year. But 3 of us got entire cash back in our banks. So it is Baba working all the way for us. So now, our Baba, I have so many Baba stories. When Baba, I had a house which wasn't renovated for 40 years. We just didn't know how to renovate it, a big house. And, Baba made his appearance at home. Baba in the old age with the little nose and, the pigtail, the older age of Baba. So one day we just saw that on the wall. I have not removed it from my house. It is there on the wall. But of course, there's a section where nobody can touch it. So I'm just trying to say that he has manifested in our lives in so many ways that it is unbelievable. The stories can go on, but we have to end. So I have to end today. Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me this platform. Thank you for, I could share my experiences, some of my stories, some of the travel importances of where we went. Of course, thank you of the group of, following his footsteps, where they take us around. Apologies if I have made any mistakes. All references have been through the net. I would also like to thank Baba for shaping my life the way that it is meant to be, whether we understand it or not now and in this lifetime. Roshni, thank you for giving me this opportunity for sharing some of my beautiful Baba stories. We can always share some more. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Jyoti, hang around for your surprise. So Jyoti ji's entire family, as she mentioned, is in Baba's web of love, and the latest generation is no less following the footsteps of Nanima. So we have this little sweet surprise video of her grandson singing a Baba song.
Wow.
उस्ताद धन्यवाद उस्ताद धन्यवाद उस्ताद धन्यवाद उस्ताद धन्यवाद जीसस धन्यवाद जीसस धन्यवाद जीसस धन्यवाद जीसस
मोहम्मद
मोहम्मद धन्यवाद मोहम्मद धन्यवाद मोहम्मद धन्यवाद
ओ मैं
धन्यवाद 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 ओ मैं धन्यवाद धन्यवाद बाबा धन्यवाद बाबा धन्यवाद बाबा धन्यवाद बाबा धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much.
My God, this is so beautiful. What a surprise. Thank you, Roshni. This was really lovely. Thank you so much. Thank
Not
you.
at all. So apparently a whole day they tried that he would sing something, but he refused to do so. So we left it to Baba that at least before the end of the show, if he can sing, and we just leave it to him. And yes, he did. So we could get this sweet Baba full video in between while Jyoti ji was talking, and we could download and show it. So yes, Ustad, Dhanyavad all the way. We'll have some questions if anybody wants to ask any more things to Jyoti regarding her travels to these Babaful places.
Sure.
Please raise your hand so I can unmute and you could ask Jyoti. And the others who are still figuring on the raise hand can type in the chat. I shall put the instructions once again for the raise hand.
So nice.
So let me begin by asking Jyoti. Jyoti, tell us about any aha moment on any of these trips which really, caught you unaware, you weren't expecting, and you came across something, or you got to meet someone and you heard something really,
I think one moment that we were on the Harwan Hill, we were all in meditation, and just before we were singing, that was really an aha moment for me. Just before we went into singing Baba Arti, my daughter from Bombay rings me up. My daughter whose son just sang the song, and she has a different kind of connection with Baba, which is unbelievable. So she rang me up and I said, you know what? We are on Harwan Hills. We are just singing the Aarti, and why don't you just keep the phone on? And she kept the phone on, and I think Neha is there. Neha knows this whole incident, and her connection is different. Whenever something like this happens, my daughter somehow rings up, and she is able to, at least, if not, I didn't think of switching on the video and all that. I just let her hear the whole song and the dhun and the arti and the prayer, which we were doing on Harwan Hill. And so I think for me, that was just like, what kind of connection is this? So when people are connected, Baba makes sure so that they come, that even I felt her to be right there on Harwan Hills, being part of our group. And so this was a big moment for me. I just think that the connections are made a complete lifetimes before, and there are actually so many, so many, all the way, like I said, almost every moment I was only speaking about Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba, and we didn't have any problem. The whole trip went like a cakewalk, and so I guess if you keep Baba 24/7 behind your mind, everything kind of works out. It's just that our belief, the internal belief that we have, that we need to, I think we can manifest anything. Thank you, Roshni.
Jai
Anybody
Baba.
else?
Great. We have Betty who would like to ask something. So, and then I will
Yes,
ask
Betty.
another chat question later.
Let's see. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Jyoti. This is wonderful to travel with you. It's been a great experience. I was curious. I have two questions about Harvan. One, in the photo, you were standing next to what looked like maybe a foundation of a building or something. I wondered if that was a significant spot.
Yes, we asked the locals over there because there were these structures there. There were these structures, and for us, we wanted to believe that these structures were of some significance. We couldn't get answers from the base of the mountain because the locals, carried our food and, a whole lot of stuff up because this was on a mountain. But it seems that Baba just randomly had pointed. He didn't exactly show the place where supposed to be Jesus's burial ground. But I think these structures, we couldn't find anybody to answer us about the structure there and its significance. We couldn't find anybody. And one of the slides is where from the top we could see the village down. If one of the slides you could, so that is the top view seeing the village. And that is where I was waiting because I couldn't climb up the mountain when Siddharth decided, yes. So this is the top. From the top we could see this village where I was not wanting to climb up the hill. And this is the top where Siddharth's son, I think he's standing there. And these structures were there. And in the, a little ahead where there was an empty space is where we all sat. So we couldn't get the significance of the structure. We did not know who made them. We didn't know anything. But we knew that we were on the Harwan Hill.
Yeah. That was my next question. I wondered if you had any sense that the local people knew of the...
They did not know the significance, no.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
No, they did not know the significance, for sure. And in fact, they were very curious. They had their questions and they were like, why are you all here? And, what is this group about? And who is Meher Baba? And, so their curiosity was there, but they were not aware, no.
Oh, thank you, Jyoti. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We have Dilshad and Dinesh who asked about if you could explain a little more about places in Mount Abu. You mentioned you had gone there as well.
Now, Mount Abu basically was really almost soon after my marriage. So that was about 35, 38 years back, when I had not really heard of the significance of Baba, but I had, and then in my reading, I realized that this is the place I've been. But at that point of time, I did not know the significance of Baba. So when I went there, the connection of Baba had not yet come to me. I've mentioned Mount Abu is because those are the places I'd visited and were visited by Baba too.
Any experience, Jyoti, you could share about being inside the cave? Because there is a lot of significance of that cave, and very few people
But
have
I
been.
think it's all cordoned off. You know, they have no entries. It's become a UNESCO heritage also. You know, people are not really allowed. There are certain timings, and the actual cave is, you know, a very it's the no rasta for it. I mean, there's no road. It's a lot of jungle. So we were at the church because St. Francis's Church at Assisi near the cave, but there was actually no one to tell us, you know, this is where we go. There was a language barrier. So the photos which I've put are at the St. Francis's, you know, I think it is the slide number, the picture at Assisi. It is the sixth slide, sixth. You know, that is, those are the pictures which were there at the St. Francis's at Assisi. No, sixth one. Yes, yes. So this is what the research showed inside the cave where Baba's picture is there. I have not seen this. I was trying to find Baba's picture, but it was not there. There was just like an empty wall, and on one side of the wall, what I saw was this, you know, Jesus Christ, the cross, and outside were the Saint Francis looking into the air. But I did not go exactly inside the cave. It is not allowed. It was cordoned off. I did see the tree. I did see the tree where St. Francis was speaking, you know, to birds, and all of that we saw.
Lovely, lovely. We have Yasmin who wants to ask. Yasmin, please go ahead.
Yes. No, in reply to Betty's question about Jesus, there are many films which have been made on Jesus lived in India, and I distinctly remember seeing on film Jesus' Samadhi in Kashmir. I've seen it over there, so it's quite amazing. I think even Mother Mary's Samadhi is somewhere in that area. So it has been recorded on film.
Thanks,
Okay.
thanks, Yasmin.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
We'll
Yasmin. Yes, there is a book also called Jesus Lived in India. It is in, I think,
Yes.
2 volumes or so, 2 to 3 volumes, but maybe condensed right now. But earlier it
Thank
was
you.
about 2 to 3 volumes, big fat books, and reminded me of Lord Meher when I had seen those books. And surprisingly, those books I had seen in one of a very quaint restaurant in Mumbai, which is like a sizzler joint, and the books with this huge you know, photo frame, which seems like one of the pictures of Harwan Hills that you know, Jyoti had shared. And the title of that photograph was Jesus Lived in India, and next to it was a small rack on which horizontally these 3 volumes were put. And apparently the owner was very close to it, and it was quite uncanny to find that this was early times in Baba's fold. So yes, thank you, Jyoti, for such amazing sharing and all the lovely stories. Today, actually, we have had so much of, you know, Baba's words. Thank you, Baba. And just some wonderful sharings and a long Saturday evening, because we are followed up now by the Meher Baba Jammers, who are, I'm sure, warming up and getting ready. Siddharth is our ringleader of that group, and we are all waiting to hear the Babaful melodies from them. So we will move into our dhun and Australian Arti, and followed by our silence for the East-West Saturday Satsang, and then look forward with our popcorn and dinners for Meher Baba Jammers.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being there, Jyoti. Thank you.
Thank you
For
so much.
all the, and yes,
Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.
a special thanks to Devanshi, her daughter,
Yes,
for
yes. Making
helping
these
in creating
slides.
all these photographs in the lineup that we needed, and
Yes.
sending it in time for me to put them into
Sure.
our sharing PPT. So thank you so much, Devanshi, for all your help, darling.
Thank you, Devanshi. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And for your tiny one for the Ustad, Dhanyavad. All right, so here it is, our Baba Dhun.
Meher Baba, 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 Meher Baba. Meher Baba, 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 Meher Baba. Meher Baba, 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 Meher Baba.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय.
O glorious, eternal, ancient one, your face is a bright, transcendental sun. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. My heart meher I give to you to keep. Creator, yet creationless you are. Truth and truth's body, divine avatar. Through compassion the three worlds maintain. Destroy this ignorance that life sustains. These five lights are the whirling strokes of breath of the world's wheel that bears me unto death. Unless you are infinitely kind, break the wheels of which is conditioned mind. This incense is my love, these fruits my art, which to please you I have shaped from my heart. Accept them as you would a simple flower that has no use beyond its shining hour. You are myself, I sing to you in praise and beg your love to bear me through the day. Till you, the ever-living perfect one, illume my darkness with your shining sun.
Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. We'll have 1 minute of silence. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय।